You've been told you can chase the money or you can chase the meaning, but never both at the same time. That belief has kept more talented people small than any recession ever did. So they split their life in two: a job that pays the bills during the week and a private dream they protect on the weekend, never letting the two touch. But that split is a lie. The same discipline that makes you rich is the same discipline that makes your work matter, because both come from exactly one place. Two questions decide everything you're about to build. Who is this for? And what is it for? Answer those honestly, and the rest of your life reorganizes itself around the answer. By the end of this video, you will have a simple test you can run on any hour, any dollar, any decision. A test the wealthiest and the most fulfilled people you've ever heard of already use without naming it. This test is older than any business book. It is Hermetic. 7 laws, known for thousands of years, hidden in plain sight inside every story of someone who built something that lasted. The all is mind teaches the first law. Every business, every career, every dollar you will ever earn exists first as a thought, including the thought you allow about yourself. If you work for yourself in any way, you have a boss. And sometimes that boss is cruel, constantly correcting, never satisfied, filling your head with doubt before you've even started the day. You would quit any job where a real person spoke to you the way you speak to yourself at midnight. You would not tolerate that voice from anyone else, yet you let it run your mind rent-free. The fix is not to silence that voice completely. It will not go quiet on command. The fix is to give it something better to say, starting with 2 questions instead of 1,000 fears. Who is this for? What is it for? Ask them of your smallest task today, not just your biggest dream, the product you're packaging, the email you're avoiding, the meeting you dread. Those 2 questions cut through confusion faster than any strategy session. They force your mind to stop circling and choose. And a mind that chooses is a mind that finally creates. This is mentalism. Nothing you build in the world will outgrow the clarity of the thought that started it. Get the thought right, and the second law is already waiting for you. As above, so below. As within, so without, teaches Correspondence. What shows up outside you is never random. It is the exact shape of what was already clear or unclear within. Try to serve everyone, and something strange happens. You become invisible to everyone. A promise made to no one in particular is heard by no one in particular either. Picture a stylist who only works with one kind of hair, one kind of client, one very specific result. Turning most people away doesn't shrink that business. It's the exact reason people wait weeks for a chair. Specificity isn't a limitation, it's a magnet. The moment you stop being available to everyone, the right people stop comparing you to anyone. You simply become the one they meant. This law runs inside a career, too. You carry a reputation, even without a single advertisement. Every meeting, every email, every promise kept or broken is building a brand, whether you've noticed or not. Correspondence is unforgiving and fair at once. Your results outside are only ever a mirror. Clean the glass within. who it's for, what it's for, and the reflection changes on its own. Nothing rests, everything moves, everything vibrates, teaches the third law. What you call fear is not a wall in front of you. It is only a frequency you have not yet named. There is a tremble that arrives right before you ask to be paid what you're worth, right before you pitch, right before you raise your hand. That tremble is real. Naming it is the first shift in its frequency. Two strangers offer the exact same product. One announces it, and people walk past without looking up. The other asks a single curious question first, and suddenly everyone has an answer and an open hand. The exchange didn't change. The frequency of the ask did. Change the vibration you bring to a room, a pitch, a page, and you change what that room is willing to give back. Your offer carries the frequency of your own certainty before it carries a single word of copy. Raise the vibration within, and correspondence guarantees the outer offer will finally match it. But certainty about what to offer means nothing if you offer it to the wrong table, which brings you to the law that decides exactly who gets to sit at yours. Everything has its pair of opposites, teaches polarity, and the two poles of the same thing are identical in nature, only different in degree. Every yes you give is also a no you chose. Choose your clients, and you choose your future in the same breath. The people you agree to serve decide what your Tuesday afternoon will feel like for years, long after the agreement is signed. One version of this business is frantic, price-driven customers arguing over every line item. The opposite version is patient, quality-driven customers who simply expect it done right. Same craft, two entirely different lives. Somewhere on that spectrum sits a version of your days you'd actually be proud of living. Polarity says you were always allowed to slide the dial there yourself. Most people just never touch it. It's not for you is a complete sentence. You do not owe every table your seat. The pole you refuse is defining you exactly as much as the pole you accept. Mastering polarity is not about eliminating opposites. It's choosing your side of them on purpose, instead of drifting to whichever pole shows up loudest and demands you first. The pendulum swing manifests in everything, teaches rhythm. A tide out is only ever proof that a tide in is already on its way, on schedule, whether you can see it yet or not. Everyone who ever built something worth having quit somewhere in January, in year 1, in month 3. Most people just happened to quit exactly where the hard part was about to turn in their favor. So the real question is never simply, is this hard? The real question is, has anyone ever made it through this exact kind of hard and come out the other side? If yes, that's a dip, not a wall. But not everything painful is a dip waiting to turn. Some paths are only decline, with no rhythm coming to rescue them. Walking away from those isn't failure, it's the wisdom to read the swing correctly. What you already spent, the money, the hours, the sleep, is spent no matter what you decide next. The only honest question left is, knowing everything I know now, would I begin this again, today? Rhythm rewards the ones who can finally tell a dip from a dead end. And once you can, quitting stops being shameful. It becomes one more decision measured by cause, not by fear. Every cause has its effect, every effect its cause, teaches the sixth law. Your decision belongs entirely to you. The outcome, no matter how carefully you plan, was never fully yours to command. A good decision and a good outcome are not the same event. They only look related from far enough away, after the fact, once the story's already been written and dressed up to sound inevitable. Luck can bless a reckless decision and abandon a wise one in the same week. So stop grading yourself on results you were never fully in charge of, and start grading the choosing itself. The only fair question left to ask is this: given exactly what I knew at the time, would a wise person have chosen what I chose? If yes, you made a good decision, whatever happened next. That single reframe ends the paralysis. You were never required to guarantee an outcome. You are only required to cause a decision worthy of the person you're becoming. Judge yourself by your causes, not by fortune's replies. Do that consistently, and cause and effect eventually rewards the pattern, even on the weeks it takes its time answering. Gender is in everything, teaches the final law. Everything carries within it the masculine principle that creates, and the feminine principle that receives. Nothing is finished until what was made is finally given. There's a quiet line between a hobby and a business, and almost no one sees it coming. A hobby stays entirely yours. The instant it exists to serve someone else, it stops belonging to you at all. No one buys a handmade gift purely out of love for the hands that made it. They buy because, given everything true about their life right now, it was genuinely their best available option, nothing less, nothing more. That transaction is the masculine act of meeting, the feminine act of receiving. Without both halves of that exchange, nothing is truly born into the world. It just stays an idea, admired in private. Perfectionism is usually the refusal to let that birth happen. Instead of asking, "Is this perfect?" ask the far more honest question: "Is this good enough to help someone today?" Almost always, the honest answer is yes. The instant the work becomes about the person you're serving, instead of about your own reflection in it, the fear of being judged gets quiet, because judgment was never the point of giving in the first place. To build something that matters is simply this: finishing the act of giving what mentalism first began as a single thought, all the way through 6 more laws, until it finally reaches someone else's hands. The 7 laws were never 7 separate paths. They are one law, wearing 7 different faces, and the same discipline that grows your income is the exact discipline that grows what you leave behind. Every law you just heard collapses back into the same 2 questions from the very beginning. Who is this for? What is it for? Answer those daily, and you're already living all 7 laws at once. The 2 goals that felt like opposites when this video started, more money and something that matters, were never opposites at all. They were one goal, wearing 2 different names. This week, pick one relationship, one offer, one single hour of your time, and run it through both questions honestly, before you spend it, not after. That's the entire practice. Nothing more complicated than that. Remember the boss living inside your head. It takes its orders from you, not the other way around. Feed it these two questions daily, and watch how differently it starts speaking to you by Friday. If this decoded something you needed to hear today, tell us in one word below what you're building it for, and stay close, because the next law we uncover might be the one you've been missing. The thought comes first, then the offer, then the person on the other side of it, better off than they were before you showed up. That's the whole formula. Money and meaning finally walking the same direction.